Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight on this. I'm here early this morning to talk about some NFL news. I just want to get an NFL news episode out of the way this morning so I can do one later today if there's more news I can go over. I'm gonna read off my phone. I did write some news down, but I feel like I'm gonna read off my phone. It's a lot easier. And if it's dark in here, I just don't feel like having the light on. You can still see me with the light on my phone. But first thing I want to talk about is the Ravens. They've now clinched a playoff spot in the AFC as they won today, or yesterday. And people think, oh, this will be a sleeper team. The defense play outstanding. Lamar Jackson will be back. But it doesn't matter when you have Greg Roman calling the plays. And I think there'll be a first round exit. Like, Greg Roman this season is not helping. The worst team in the entire playoffs. Patriot offense has looked atrocious and absolutely broken most of the season. They struggle to pick up first downs and get past 50 every drive. And even Justin Tucker is having a down year for his standards. They'll be a first round exit because this team's just too inconsistent offensively. Greg Roman's a bad play caller. I know the defense has been really great. They can still run the ball though, and they have great special teams, but you have to have a better passing game. And Tyler Huntley, he's done a good job leading the team, but the defense is terrible. And not the defense isn't terrible. Not the defense. The offense is just terrible. The defense has been carrying them all season. And for the third consecutive season, the Buffalo Bills are AFC East champions. So the Buffalo Bills are AFC East champions for the third consecutive year. You remember when this division was actually close and people thought, oh, this is going to be competitive all the way down the stretch? Yeah, that was short-lived. The Bills just pulled away with this division. And people try and say, oh, he was carried by the run game, Josh Allen. Man, these trolls. But the Dolphins are an up and coming team though. They'll have competitiveness in that division. Carolina, which fired head coach Matt Rule earlier in the season, will win the NFC South that wins at Tampa Bay and at New Orleans in the regular season's final 2 weeks. Interim head coach Steve Wilks leading the charge. They fired Matt Rule and got rid of Baker. Addition by subtraction. And the running game has taken off since when they got rid of McCaffrey. It's a win-win trade. He's taken the Niners to the next level, and the running game with Donta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard has taken them to the next level. So you go back and look at this trade here. It's a win-win trade for both teams, in my opinion. They should make a stipulation where if the best team in your division has a losing record, no team from that division goes to the playoffs, and they include an extra wildcard team. Because I just don't know if a losing team should get in. But they have a chance at the playoffs. Steve Wilks has done an amazing job stabling an identity for that team. With the running game and the defense. And he has 5 wins in 10 games. He really had 5 wins in each of his last 2 seasons. 5-11 and 5-12. Pay Steve Wilks, man. Titans QB Ryan Tannehill, who underwent surgery on his high ankle sprain this week, will not play again during the regular season and is considered unlikely that he will be able to return this postseason per a league source. And what postseason exactly, Mr. Schefter? Because it's not like Titans are going to make the postseason. They've lost 5 straight games. They lost to the 2-win Houston Texans. Or, 1-win Houston Texans at the time. Now 2 wins. They're not going to make the postseason. They aren't even making it past the Jags, man. The Jags have turned it on recently, beating the Dallas Cowboys and New York Jets. They beat some good teams along the way. Tennessee's now lost 5 straight. They're not going to win that division. there's no chance they'd even make the postseason. The New York Giants believe multiple players were inside the Mall of America during a deadly shooting Friday night at the nation's largest shopping center. I don't know why this was a story that the Giants believe multiple players were inside. It was a shooting between like 2 games or something. I guess it was a slow news day. The media tries to make this sound like a random act of violence, and it was basically just two, like, I think it was gangs or something, like, killing each other in the middle of a crowded mall without consideration for other humans, and Giants players, like, just happen to be there. I'm not sure what we're supposed to be getting from this information. Maybe the Giants were too cheap to stay at a hotel room. But it was basically a translation of this is a dispute between two groups of young men quickly led to a shooting in the nation's largest mall. I guess that's why this is a story. On one of the biggest shopping days of the year, and a side note, NFL players are also at the mall. That's basically a translation of this. But hopefully they're okay mentally, though. Sean Payton is so interested in returning to coaching in the NFL that he's already putting together an all-star staff that includes former Broncos head coach Vic Fangio as his potential defensive coordinator per sources. It has to be the Chargers. Because the Cardinals, maybe. It won't be the Cowboys. I don't think they're going to fire Mike McCarthy. Because they're 11-4 at this point in the season. I don't think they're going to fire him. Even if they were to lose the playoffs, I don't think they'll fire him. I think he's going to go to the Chargers, maybe even the Rams if McVay decides to hang it up. But he wasn't burnt out, and he needed a break. He pushed the Saints on for 10 years. Couldn't deliver, realized he had to create a mess, so he quit for a year so he could start over rather than fix their mess like he created. But apparently they're going to get Vic Fangio. He's a good defensive mind, so it makes sense. If you're going to get an all-star staff, he's a good defensive mind. Him as your defensive coordinator. As their offensive coordinator, I don't know who their offensive coordinator would be. And Ravens QB Tyler Huntley was voted as the AFC's fourth alternate Pro Bowl QB, one slot after the third alternate Pro Bowl QB Lamar Jackson. So he's the fourth Pro Bowl alternate. I don't know how. He has 0 touchdown passes this season. 0 to 2 interceptions and a 42 QBR. Well, in what world is he the fourth best AFC QB? Who in the hell voted on this shit? Jalen Hurts, who obviously missed the Cowboys game because of a sprained shoulder, is also uncertain to play against the New Orleans Saints in Week 17 per sources. An important detail in Adams' reporting here, he has a SC like sternoclavicular injury, and it may be a factor in a more conservative return decision, even as Hurts rehabs and pushes to get back. If people say, oh, what does sternoclavicular mean? I had no idea until I looked it up, and it's where the sternum, chest, it makes the clavicle where your collarbone is. Even though it's, like, located at the chest, the joint is part of what compromises the shoulder girdle, or how you say that word. It's what compromises, like, the shoulder girdle, and matters for normal shoulder mechanics, obviously critical for the throwing athlete. And people are going to say, oh, these 3 weeks, well, they don't matter for the Eagles, or these next 2 after they lost to the Dallas Cowboys. If the Dallas Cowboys win out, and the Eagles with Minshew lose, because the body language did not look good for Miles Sanders after that fumble late. Not good body language. Darius Slay, bad attitude, poor body language. The body language did not look good for the Philadelphia Eagles after their loss against the Cowboys. If they were to somehow lose these next 2 games, which they could, Saints are not going to be a pushover. They're still in the playoff race. They're still in playoff contention. You got the New York Giants, who are not going to be a pushover either. So it's not going to be next 2 easy weeks for the Eagles. Where the Cowboys, I think, we can still have a shot at it. Jets wide receiver coach gets a 1-year gambling ban Miles Austin, who's suspended for violating the league's gambling policy for a minimum of a year. And the NFL confirmed that he's been suspended, and he appealed the suspension. The league will have no further comment until the appeal has been resolved. There's no indication that he bet on NFL games as a coach, but bet on other sports, which violates NFL personnel gambling policy per league, per the source. Can someone explain to me why he can't bet on other sports? This seems stupid. Other sports, at least the NFL isn't in the bed with sports books. This is a horrendous policy. If that's how they're moving, let the boys eat. The NFL literally sponsors DraftKings and FanDuel, but won't let coaches gamble. How can you literally sponsor DraftKings and FanDuel? You're literally promoting gambling on DraftKings and FanDuel, but you won't let coaches gamble on other games. He's not even betting on NFL games, it's other games. It's like NFL members can't bet on any sports, just stupid like. Funny how sports have fully embraced gambling, but yet you can't do it. But the NFL signed a deal that could be like worth about $1 million for the league over 5 years. Signed a deal with DraftKings, FanDuel, and Caesars Entertainment. The NFL is literally sponsored by betting companies, but you can't bet on any other games like NFL or mostly not NFL, but NBA probably, like college sports. Stupid. Nico Collins, Texans receiver, has been placed on injured reserve ending his season. He's shown what he's been capable of while he's been healthy this year. Jets head coach was quiet today on his QB plans, and they're chasing QB answers. Their playoff hopes fade. They're just hoping Mike White comes back at this point. Aaron Donald's out for Sunday's game versus Denver, and it's unlikely he'll play again this season. I won't even play Aaron Donald again this year. Keep him healthy. Just go into next year. Rams and right tackle Jack Conklin agreed on a 4-year, $60 million extension that includes $31 million guaranteed. In a couple of years, the Browns will be in a terrible cap situation. This seems like an overpay, man. This seems like an overpay. He hasn't really been that good this year. It's a good signing if he bounces back, but not a good signing. The Packers and Elton Jenkins signed a 4-year and agreed to terms on a 4-year, $68 million extension. Expected to be signed. It'll make him the second highest paid guard in the NFL, and also would rank him in the top 10 left tackles in the NFL. Great move. Great move. Parents thought, oh, this is a bad contract, but that's a good move. NFL Sunday Ticket is heading to YouTube for the 2023 season. So, I know people are probably not going to like this, but a lot more people are going to have YouTube than Sunday Ticket. Yeah, they announced a multi-year agreement with Google granting YouTube TV and YouTube primary channels starting of the 2023 season. Oh yeah, but Ronnie Hillman died Wednesday after battle with liver cancer. He was 31, so really sucks. Lost Demaryius Thomas, now Ronnie Hillman. So yeah, that's all I'll say for this video. See you next month. Peace.